chair. So it's good to have someone with her background. She's got what, junior achievement as well as Chamber of Commerce. So Big Island, right? No, what is it called? Hawaii Island Chamber of Commerce, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Can't hear you. Are you muted or? You're not muted, but can't hear you. Oops. Where'd she disappear?
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Now can you hear me?
Now we can hear you, but now we can't see you.
Oh, well. Okay. Since I started
Excellent.
at 7 o'clock this morning at our meeting, I need a nap.
I was there. I don't
saw
need a
you.
nap.
I saw you.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I'd like to. I've been in touch with several of you over the last month, and I know I've had individual conversations. Um, what I'd like to what I'd like to do is to first of all, why don't we start off with, since the House of Friendship is the first thing that opens up. I was wondering, Jen, if you could tell us, have you been able to acquire more information about how the House of Friendship works, and the fees that we've been charging in the past, and learning a little bit more about how to do that? And you have that under control now?
Yeah, and Gail Takaki is going to assist. So yeah, we've got it pretty much a plan.
Okay. Are you going to be working on contacting club presidents to see if any of the clubs are going to have individual desks, tables, or?
I gotta still get down there to find out the workspace and how many tables we're gonna be able to have. I know.
Okay, have so you haven't seen the space yet?
I've seen the space of Home Mali Mali before. I mean that area, but it's not all that big. Guess it'll be a first come first serve situation then.
I think we should have something a bit more formal than that. We ought to have, a sign-up sheet, so we know exactly who will be there. And then I know in the past we've had requests for size of tables, whether they have a standard 6-foot table or whether they want the longer 8-foot table.
Look
Ellen,
into that. Yeah, because
Ellen,
it's just hard with COVID. It's just, yeah.
can I suggest that Jen work with the hotel and ask them to
Right.
draw out a schematic to you, so you know how many tables, and then you can allocate so many for vendors and so many for exhibitors. But Alan, I think we need to consolidate all the information for the clubs rather than going one by one. So we should be giving them all the information of House of Friendship, about registration, about
Sure.
celebration of life, all on one sheet.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. I don't think that's something that is urgent right now. I wanted to get a feel for how Jen feels, because she took on the duties last month, and I just wanted to get an update from her on that. So that's good.
The hotel is not all gung-ho about it, to be honest. They're just skeptical about COVID, and we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, I should be able to provide a schematic by the next meeting and everything. Sure.
It's interesting that you should mention that, because I had a talk with Sarah Bill over the last couple of days, and she's the opposite. She seems to be very positive, and her basic premises. whatever you need, tell us what it is, and we can probably accommodate you. So
You spoke to a Sarah
that's
Bell. Okay, we can talk
Bill.
later, Alan.
Bill.
Okay.
Bill. Yeah.
All righty.
Okay. All right. I wonder if we can get an up. I know that Rich, you've been working on the polio walk. Can you give us an update of that?
Rich, show me
No.
the ghetto map.
You're silenced, Rich.
I sure can, Alan. Can I, is it okay if I screen share and show you some information that I have about the walk?
Who is in charge of the screen? I think Naomi has.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Can you all see this?
Yes. I'm just wondering where the extraneous sound is coming from. Someone not silenced off.
I muted that person.
Okay, thank you. All right, Rich, go ahead.
Okay, so we're calling it a Take a Walk in the Park to End Polio Now. And the registration for the walk will be included in the district conference packet. The fee will be $50, but Polio Plus Society members can walk for free. So there's an incentive to become a Polio Plus Society member, just a small incentive. We'll also have on-site registration at the conference registration desk, as well as at the starting line for the walk for latecomers. The walk will be on Saturday, May 15th. Check-in for the registration will begin at 5:30 a.m. and the walk will start at 6 and go until 7. And then breakfast will follow at 7 and until 7:30. So this is the route. This is a beautiful map made by one of the members of our committee. I won't mention her name right now because she'd be so embarrassed. It's such a, she's done such a great job. And anyway, this is where the walk will begin up there by Coconut Island. It'll go around the park and then it'll go down Banyan Drive. And I have some pictures to show of the walk here in just a second. Walk in the park, the circle of the park, the circle part of the walk is around Liliuokalani Park, and it's the most popular walking spot in all of Hilo, as I understand it. Nice sidewalks, low traffic, beautiful scenery, and borders the ocean. The rest of the walk is on sidewalks along Banyan Drive. Also very nice walks out from underneath the Banyan Drive and alongside Reeves Bay, which has a beautiful ocean view. So here's some of the sights that you're going to see on the walk. It's going to be a beautiful day just like this. Benson is guaranteed that. So we're all set on the weather. So that's what the sights will be like. Breakfast will be provided by the Rotary Club of South Hilo at the finish line near the path to Coconut Island. And there are benches and picnic tables on the island. There'll be a tent for registration and for breakfast pickup after the walk. Each walker is going to receive a End Polio Now mask, among other small secret gifts. They're secret for now because we don't know what they are. And we will have sponsors who hopefully will provide goodies for us, for all the participants. And why we're walking to end polio. So now we hope people will join us for this walk. Finally, District 5000 Polio Plus Committee would also request to have a booth at the House of Friendship. We'll have a running video of the World Polio Day event and other End Polio Now videos along with refreshments. And secondly, we have a request to possibly have 2 minutes at the beginning, say a minute to 2 minutes at the beginning of each general session or various events of the conference to promote the Polio Plus Society by opening that event. So this is a suggestion that we like to present to the committee. And that's all I have to say. I'll stop sharing. For questions.
Yeah, why don't you remind us all of the qualifications for the Polio Plus Society?
Absolutely. Polio Plus Society is an organization of like-minded people who have committed to donate $100 or more every year, each and every year, until the world has been declared polio free. So this is an organization that is high-minded and understands the need to have a sustainable amount of money going to Polio Plus to complete this important job and to honor the commitment that Rotary has made to the world to rid the world of polio, and therefore a commitment to the children of the world. And so that's what the purpose of the Polio Plus Committee is. To join the committee is very simple. There's a one-page form. You fill out your name, your address, your email address, and the date you filled out the form, and say, I will commit to contributing $100. And there are a couple of ways you can do that. You can certainly write out a check and give it to your club's foundation chair, or you can do it online through Rotary Direct, which is the simplest way to do it. And you can choose then to make a donation of, say, $10 a month. And that takes care of your $100 a year commitment. Or you can do it $25 a quarter. You can do it however you choose to online at, Rotary, yeah, what is it? Anyway, there is on the application form, there is one of those items that you can shine your camera at and take a picture of it, and it'll take you directly to the contribution site. What do you call that? QR code or something like that? That's on the application form. Anybody that needs an application form, all you have to do is go to District 5000 website and go to the polio section. And there is the application form, or certainly you can contact me. I'll be happy to send you the form, but that's what the Polio Plus Society is. Thank you for giving me that time.
And Jen,
Okay.
that's your first table. Okay, Rich is gonna reserve a booth for you, the House of Friendship.
Yes, I have that down along with the Rotary table for Sandy.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Ed Hara. Are you still
Yes,
there?
I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. I wondered if you, since you are, this is your first visit to our planning meeting, right?
Yes.
I guess everyone, at least those who live in Hilo, definitely know Ed as the owner of the Hilo Printing. And tell me, we have talked. You and I have talked earlier about your being involved with the printing of our program. Do you have any questions or perhaps telling us how you want that information to get to you as we develop the program itself?
The best thing is through email. But I haven't seen
Mhm.
the book yet, or whatever the program directory that was published
Okay.
previously.
Okay, would it do you have copies of the old programs? Because we have a few programs, what it's like. I don't see us changing it in a major way. I know we've had programs that are pretty elaborate, having probably around 20 plus pages, and then we've had programs that are as small as just 4 pages. So it varies from conference to conference. But it is definitely a half size sheet, half letter size.
Yeah.
What is that?
Okay.
Eight,
Okay.
8.5 by 5.5, or 5.5 by 8.5.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
and it's folded.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. Good. Let's see. Ooh, Lori, you're here to observe for which upcoming DG?
Sandy and Randy.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. Let me see. Wally is not here. I had transportation as the next item to talk about. Um, just as an FYI, we are still working with the Hilton hotels on the contract. I got off the phone just a little while ago with the hotel, and we've still got a few, probably one major addendum to be added with respect to the effects of COVID-19. So anyway, that's still something that will happen shortly, definitely by the 18th. Benson, you and I also talked this afternoon. What can you tell us about some of the stuff that you're involved with for the district conference? Let's start off with the entertainment, perhaps.
Yeah, so we're connected with, the entertainers up here. Mark Yamanaka, who is, he's a Hoku Award-winning entertainer. He is actually an honorary Rotarian in our club, so he's agreed to play and bring whatever other entertainment we need. Hula Halau entertainment, whatever. Also, I do have my wife dances in a Kupuna Halau, which is 55 and over, from Keaukaha. Then they perform at a lot of the Merry Monarch events. They're actually a couple of the gals actually are in the Merry Monarch organization. So we have access to them. So I'm talking about primarily the Saturday night. The Friday night function, we were talking about doing kind of an outdoor function, food trucks, under tents that would be a more casual, less expensive type event than what we're typically used to at the conferences. It would be something that would require a park permit from the county. And at this time, the county is not issuing any permits for any kinds of functions at this time. So, we'll just have to wait till things start to clear up. That's the same thing for the walk. The polio walk will need a permit for that walk, which comes from the Department of Parks and Recreation. And as soon as we're able to get permits in this county, then we will pursue that. So if you have specific questions, I can answer them, but that's basically the update on Friday, for Friday night and Saturday night. As far as entertainment goes.
Now you were talking to me earlier about using part of the park, and then with the food trucks, concern for the parking of the food trucks, etc.
Yeah, we're gonna do it down at Reeds Bay, where we've had a celebration of life down there with Hawaii Care Choices, and actually had an event that had over 3,000 people on it. So I'm thinking 300 people, we probably can do it. So we had the food trucks actually that were located in the parking lot, and then we had the event, which is in the actual park that was adjacent to it. So we could do it a similar way. Our club, because of the fundraiser that we put on at Coconut Island, and Coconut Island actually is also another possible venue, which is a really beautiful venue. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the food trucks across onto the island, so they'd have to be in the parking lot of Coconut Island parking. So at any rate, we've done events there before. So our club actually owns a number of these 20 by 20 tents. We actually have 12 of them. So we have tables, we have chairs, we have the whole 9 yards. So I'm going to enlist probably members of our club, Hilo Bay Club, Pahoa Club, Volcano Club, to provide the manpower to put on at least the Friday night event outside. So in Hilo, as you know, those of us Hiloans know that you always do it and expect the rain. Because if you don't, then you could be devastated at the end. And of course, we're not going to have that. Right? Okay, so that's basically what we have.
Okay. Moving along here, Murray. What else can you update us with on international service?
Okay, here we go. We had at our 3 December International Service meeting, I was proposing to put together with Richard Ma a 15 to 18-minute video of all the different global grants that are being done this year. And I've also, and the list is with Mark Harbison. And I was also going to ask John Osus if he wanted to put his, participate with his project in Bolivia on there. And Arjun is going to already give the video that he has, but of course we're going to shorten that video, and he'll use that video to promote the 2 upcoming projects in Nepal for October of next year. And I'm going to somehow cram all these different global grants into 15 to 18 minutes. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just wondering. I know we've talked about it at the district international service team, but you just mentioned this October 2021. What can you share with the rest of the group who is not aware of it, probably, on what is being envisaged there?
You mean in Nepal?
Yeah, or
sure.
wherever we actually do it, because probably by May we want to have a number of people already signed up, ready to do the trip where we actually do an international service project
Right.
overseas, and if that's Nepal, so be it, or wherever.
There will be.
I would think that's going to be part of the announcement by the international service, right?
Right. So there are 2, and they're both going to be done by Arjun. And so one is a project at Chunder Village School, teaching equipment and training and classroom renovation. It's going to be done in the Paunati district schools of Nepal. It's a remote area. It's for lower class children, and it seeks to empower them through basic education. I got quite a bit more on this, but I think this is enough. The second one is Dading Hospital, medical equipment, training, and telemedicine. And this is going to be done. It's the only hospital in the district in Nepal, designated by the government of Nepal to manage COVID-19. And some telemedicine will be part of that too. So and again, there's a lot more here, but I'm not going to read the whole thing here.
No.
Take up everybody's time. But I do have this list of global grants from Mark Harbison. In fact, I sent that list for the 3 December meeting. So everybody has the list.
Okay.
But I can resend it again.
Good. All right. No. That's sufficient for our purposes here.
I'm also going to now that we have a program chair, Sharon Sheely, I'm going to send her all this information to her right after this meeting, and I'll put you on the copy line also.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a few more. I have a few more ideas, but I know time is of the essence right now.
right, exactly. It's already 5, so we've got to,
Right.
we're already halfway there. Bob, any update for us on vocational service? And any ideas yet to offer on what might be added to the program?
No, not yet. So, yeah, I'll defer that for the next meeting. We'll put something together, but we have some good things to report at the conference. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
All right, good enough. Good enough. Um, I had an interesting
Alan?
conversation with, yes,
Alan, usually
Yeah.
in the district, the program, we have ads that maybe Bob can help us with on reaching out to the businesses if they want to put an ad in the program. Okay, so just keep that in mind, Bob, that we may need
Yep.
to do that again to fund the program. And so
Can-
usually it's like $25 or $50 for a business card size ad in the program.
Yep, I can help with that.
okay. Um, as I was saying, earlier today, actually, it's been going on for a couple of days now. I've been talking to Nancy Cabral, the president of the Hilo Club. And one of the ideas, I believe it was you, Naomi, who started it, about having some kind of a skit for the 100th. So Nancy, had some very concrete ideas on what she was thinking. And in my conversation with her, of course, I was reminded that 1920, when the Hilo Club got started, that is the year when women received the right to vote. And I still remember that from my U.S. history high school class, where 1920 was women's suffrage. Um, anyway, her idea was to have some kind of a skit that would talk about the fact that it just happens that the Hilo Club got started in that very important year, and then transition to 1987 when the Supreme Court said to Rotary, you have to start admitting women members. And of course, Nancy being the first woman to be admitted into our Hilo Club, she wanted to have a play on that. So I started talking about possible ways we could actually do that. And then, of course, thought of Lee. So, Lee, maybe you can share with us what your thoughts are on how we might be able to actually put together this skit.
Well, what I suggested to Alan is that I put whoever would be in charge of that skit in touch with either the Hilo community players, who probably have some connection in multiple ways to Rotary, or the Hilo Performing Arts Drama Club, which also may have students that have Rotary connections, because we had a conversation about the fact that that often excites people to become involved in projects like this. So we will probably hold on contacting and setting anything up with either of those groups until after the holiday, because the Hilo community players are in the midst of finalizing and preparing their holiday event. And tomorrow is the last day of virtual classes here at Hilo. So we won't have any student contact until January again. But it could be something that one or the other or both of those groups would like to take on, and in terms of creating, writing, and then performing something. So it would be a matter of knowing who to put them in contact with on this committee in order to facilitate that project.
All right, I had a question, but I think you guys, may I I think Lee may have answered it already. Since I'm supposed to be doing the script, I wanted to know if you wanted my help for a script for a skit. And the answer, I think Lee already said it. You're going to do a script and you're going to do a skit, and you're going to have a script written by the Hilo players or the Hilo Drama Club. If you need me, that's my job. But if you don't want me, I will gladly step back, because this is a Big Island centric conference, and I'm just here to support. So that's all. Sorry.
Well, that's great to know, because I don't know if either of those groups have folks who are really comfortable necessarily putting together an actual script. Most of them, there may be some writers in the drama club, because they often have some of the playwriting students join them. So that might be where it would work out, but I don't know if some of them have the what it takes to do that. So it might be great to have you facilitate that as well. And it might be important to have someone as a consultant from Rotary, so that, you know, things are correct and clear and not convoluted, as they can sometimes get with people who don't really know the background of what they're trying to write about. It'd be easier to have them have a resource for that research too. So thank you. That's great.
May I suggest having a subcommittee to work on this skit, because I believe in the Hilo Club there are several people that are already gathering the information on the history, and there was already a PowerPoint put together. And so this subcommittee can do the content and help put it all together, and then Viz can write it up for the actors.
Sorry, muted still. Perfect. That sounds ideal.
All right. But along with that, the same thing, one of the things that has to be decided early on is how long in time you want this skit to take. You know, whether it's going to be 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 or 20, that determines a lot of things. So I would like for somebody to make that decision about the timing of it before we start to put anything together. That's just my view of it.
Okay, it's 20 to 25 minutes.
That long? Okay. And okay, with the skit, sorry, I'm kind of jumping ahead because this is the program person's job, but is the skit going to be basically a cold open at the beginning of the conference before you do the pledge and everything else, or is it going to fit at some later time? Have you made those decisions yet? Because
We haven't made those.
Yeah, it depends on when Maya's going to speak, because it could be during the Saturday night dinner right after, or it could be on Sunday.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Saturday on the opening session. So it depends on when we can get the keynote speaker.
Okay, I don't want to get too far ahead with my little job, but sometimes the script writing, you know, you can't write anything until you know when it's going to fit in and how it's going to fit into the overall picture. You can write something, but it can't be finalized until we know how it fits in and when it fits in, and whether it's a standalone thing or, as I say, the cold open for the conference, any of those things. But somebody just let me know. I'm just raising the questions that I know from a little bit of experience with these things.
Okay, and keep in mind that it might be a video.
Oh, pre-acted, fine. Oh gosh, if it's going to be a video, then we need videographers and.
No, we're getting really good at that over here.
Okay.
Our learning curve has been fast and furious, and we're actually getting really good at that. We can do closed captioning. We're set. We can handle that part.
Yeah. Fine. All right.
Great.
I'm gonna be quiet now.
All right. One other item that always is included in the district conference is talk about the international convention. Now, since we have 3 in the DG line here, what do we know? I mean, are we planning on actually announcing that people still have time to join in with the convention. I'm not quite sure to what extent we will be announcing the convention at the conference.
So we usually don't do the convention. I mean, we could put it in the program, but I don't think there's any need to promote the Taipei convention at that point. We do promote the district conference for the following year, which happens on Sunday. And the back page of the program is for the district conference the following year.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm talking
Is that what you mean?
about the convention, whether we'll be at the point of, just even if it's just a short 15-second thing, just to talk about the fact that there is an international convention that is coming up, and plus we already know what the next one is. So as I recall from every conference that I've been at, we've always talked about where the next conventions are, so that people will be aware of that. That's part. I don't know. Am I wrong?
Well, I can talk about the convention, a little bit, but it's so far out and so much unknown. I've been plugging the convention now for several months, but so it'll just, it's like everything else. It's a wait and see on what's going to happen. There's going to be a convention, but whether or not it's going to be virtual or hybrid or in person is really the question right now. And I don't have anything from RI unless Naomi has something that, but I don't have anything from them at all. They're still planning a full-on in-person convention, but time will tell.
Yeah, I think we could table this because it really depends on what happens. And, at that point in May, it's kind of too late to register for the convention in June if it is going on. So we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Just as a curiosity, where is the convention the following year in the US?
It's in Houston.
Houston, okay. I had forgotten. Okay. We have a small group today. Richard, I see you there. First of all, I want to thank you for helping to put the Hilo history video onto YouTube. Now that it is on YouTube, it runs very smoothly without hiccups throughout. It's been a nightmare prior to your work there, so thank you for that. And I envisage that you probably help us with other things like that as it comes up. Okay. Looking at it. We have Yoleti and Marianne. Obviously, at this point in time, we don't have the information for the registration yet. We're still working on the contract with Hilton. So, we will get an announcement out on registering and how much it'll cost, et cetera, et cetera. But Yoleti, I noticed you just unmuted. Do you have something to say?
No, no, I don't.
Okay, all right. Sharon, now that you've heard some of the stuff that is going on here, and we're all kind of in a preliminary stage, we're getting more information, ideas on how we're going to be doing this. I wanted to ask you. I remember before I left Hilo, I met Miles Yoshioka, and he, of course, is Hawaii Island Chamber of Commerce. You're a former president. How do you see the chamber perhaps getting involved with us on this? Because after all, it is wonderful for Hilo that Rotary is going to have its conference there. Can you share some of your thoughts on that?
Well, the chamber and Miles are very, very good about sharing information. So anything that we send to them and ask them to send out with one of their e-blasts, they will do that. And so we could get, you know, depending on what kind of event we've got coming up, or whether how many people from the public are going to be invited, or just the chamber members, you know, we can work on that.
If you were to just guess, do you have a lot of Rotarians are in the chamber and vice versa?
Yes, we do.
Uh-huh. And have we ever done anything in the past where Rotary and the chamber are working together? Or is that just happens just because so many of the members are members of both?
Well, you know, when we were in the real world before, you know, anytime that we had anything that we wanted to promote for our club or for the other clubs, the chamber was willing to promote that too. You know, so I think that, you know, we've got a good working relationship, and we'll just continue with that. So he'll do whatever we ask as far as promoting information, or, you know, telling people where to sign up for something. So, you know, I see it as a win-win.
So his title is executive director?
Yes. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
So Sharon, if we have a good speaker and we would like to invite the chamber members to come and join us, then we could have maybe an a la carte registration just for that session. So we may have some speakers that they'd be interested in.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of it's going to be dependent on whether it's going to be a Zoom conference or whether it's going to be an in-person conference. But you know, we always have really, really good attendance at the Hawaii Island Chamber things. The Japanese Chamber is also a good source of spreading the word about what's happening.
Do you know anyone at the Japanese Chamber?
Right. Well, you know, Audrey Takamine is a past president, and she and her husband own Takamine Construction. And, you know, there's just a lot. I mean, I belong to both organizations, and, you know, they send out newsletters every week. I mean, there's like what's happening in the chamber. So, you know, it's not just the regular 8 or 10 page newsletter. These are just little e-blasts that come out. So there's lots of opportunity for some of that.
Am I correct that there is now a new, or maybe relatively new, Portuguese Chamber of Commerce also?
Yes, it's not really that new. Even though I'm not Portuguese, I was president of that organization in 1999. So it's not quite that new.
Ah,
but
okay.
A very active organization. So, you know, so we've got that. We've got the Board of Realtors that we can share information with. I'm a member of that. And so if you just kind of sit down and think about where various members of our Rotary clubs have membership in other clubs, you know, we've got a lot of possibilities.
So what other chambers are there on the Big Island?
What are they?
Yeah, others?
There's, well, there's the Kona Kohala Chamber, but I'm not sure we're going to get anybody to drive over here for that. But there's really probably 4 of the major ones.
Okay.
Ask Benson.
Yeah,
Ask Benson.
there's a Native Hawaiian chamber on it too that just organized in the last couple of years. So there's actually
Sorry about that.
5 chambers. Yeah, no worry. So there's 5 chambers on the island, and then there are lots of members of our Kona side Rotary clubs that are probably involved in Kona Koala, but we could obviously put something out for those guys. But yeah, I mean, we have a lot of people well involved and connected over here on our island.
Okay.
Karen's in
You
the
know,
back. That's great.
yes, Marianne.
Speaking of chambers, they would be very good to ask if they would like to put an ad in the conference program.
Okay. Someone mentioned Kona. So far, I have not been able to recruit anyone from the West Hawaii side of the island. Anybody have any thoughts on how much more we can get them involved? I mean, I know when we had, I think it was Laura's year, when we had it at Waikoloa, a lot of us from the East Hawaii side went over there for that conference. And so far, I've gotten zero interest from that side. Anyone have any inroads on whom we can ask? I mean, other than, of course, asking Naomi if she could talk to the clubs on West and North. How can we get the West side involved? Well, North Hawaii also.
I think we need to define what help you need and then ask them. One thing that we talked about was having a golf tour and having people going to the West side for golfing.
Hmm. All right. Well, unfortunately, who is doing our golf?
Doug Adams.
Doug Adams. Yeah, he isn't here right now. Okay. Randy, have you made any progress on putting together a tour to Volcano National Park?
I don't have anything formally put together yet, but I do know that the Volcano Club will definitely help out with that as far as providing the narration and the tour around the park and stuff. Just have to work out the transportation piece and how many might want to go and at what time, they'd want to go and get back to Hilo. So.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I was hoping to get maybe some idea of what we might do there. I know that Junichi is back in Japan for the next month, so we won't hear anything from him on any progress on the Mauna Kea tour. And then, of course, Wally isn't here this evening to give us maybe an update on what's happening on transportation. I know that he was talking about contacting several people to get that going. By the way, does anyone know? Do we have Uber on the Big Island, and do they regularly bring people from the airport over to the Naniloa Hotel? No? No one knows?
Yes, we do have Uber.
We have Uber. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do?
Yep.
Is that
All you
is
gotta
that
do is get
common? Or are the taxis still overpowering the Uber drivers?
No.
No.
I would say the Uber is pretty convenient. The taxi, you still gotta call them. There's no taxi presence at the airport like there would be like in Honolulu. But you know, the other thing too is that we have means, because the distance isn't that far, to set up shuttles, you know. Iona Cars is part of our club, and whenever we've had functions, mostly like Ryland, where we needed to have van transportation to shuttle kids up to Volcano, they provided all of those vehicles to us. So if we can get volunteers willing to drive, and you know, we could do a shuttle service without too much problem. And if we have people fall through the cracks, I mean, obviously there's always the Uber app, and there are people in Hilo who do Uber. In fact, yeah, it's pretty profitable in Hilo, because typically people will come and they have to go long distances, right? They got to go Pahala, they got to go, you know, Honoka'a, and I mean, that's a big Uber ticket. So
Right.
Okay, so
Interesting.
in the chat, there's a Benson Uber. So Alan, we got to wrap up in 2 minutes.
Yes. Well, I think we have covered everyone at who's in the meeting right now. Did I miss someone? Guess not. No, Connie, don't cover your eyes. Have you started to set up your committee for decorations? And I can't hear you.
That's not my committee, Alan.
Oh, I thought you were gonna get involved with that.
No, I'm your official secretary.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Remember,
All right.
remember, Alan?
Yes.
It's Deb now. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
she
Benson,
hasn't
back me up, man.
firmly.
Yeah,
No, she hasn't firmly committed to that. I know she has the talent for it, etc. But she hasn't said, "Oh yeah, I'll take it over." I mean, I'm waiting for her to actually say that.
Well, you know, I'm always your second team. I'm there for you. Pull me off the bench. Come on, Alan.
Thank you.
I don't mind.
All right, thank you very much. Well, if no one else has anything else to add, we'll close the meeting so you can go on with DEI. Is this open to everyone in the district, or?
Yeah.
I don't remember I don't remember receiving the Zoom for it.
Oh, it was in the last newsletter, but it's on the district website if you want the link. It is a different link.
He sent
Okay.
it to everybody but you, Alan.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, I know.
So open to everybody. Anybody can join in.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go look for it and then link in and join. All right.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
We'll see you next month.